Don't get it twisted. For an entrepreneur, the challenge is rarely about money. It's about self-belief. I'm talking about what you believe about yourself, your mindset, your psychology, how you carry yourself forward. In the end, what we believe about ourselves is what determines what we accomplish. It's what brings us the clarity of what we want to achieve. And it's that belief that enables us to take the risks that are in alignment to what we want. It's that belief that allows us to make the decisions and executions that are required to take us there. And because of that, we have opposition. We have a shared and common enemy that exists to hold us back. And that enemy holds us back in our thoughts. That enemy blurs our vision and it keeps us still. And that enemy is a virus, and I call it the mind virus. It impedes our thinking, fosters self-doubt, and discourages us from breaking out of our current state. And in this episode of the podcast, we're going to call out the mind virus and understand how it can influence the levels of our self-belief. And then I want to offer an antidote that has worked for me, a mind medicine that we need to rewire and reboot our thinking patterns so that we can unlock and get back to our full potential. My name is Sasha Avanessian, and this is my new podcast, Entrepreneur Insight. As entrepreneurs, we're so focused on carrying everyone else. We're so absorbed with carrying everything else that we invariably neglect ourselves. And then we wonder why we burn out. And we get burned out because we lose our vision. And we've lost our vision because we've become a survivor. And to survive something, anything, is exhausting. To survive something usually means that the tribulation was temporary. The suffering was for a short while, testing our mental and emotional capacity. But all too often, I talk to entrepreneurs, and in my context, dental lab owners, and year after year, there is no end in sight. And it is at this place of our mental fatigue where we can become most vulnerable. Why? Because that's when the mind virus finds its way in. And it plants itself into our psyche and spreads. And it spreads into our outlook and begins to blind us from the two greatest gifts we own as entrepreneurs: our vision and our pattern recognition. Vision keeps us moving when things get tough. It enables us to grind in the momentary for the benefits that lie in the future. Our pattern recognition is the tool we use to make decisions. It gives us the confidence to take risks, to make those bets on ourselves. And I want to say that if you feel stuck, the thing that is holding you back is psychological more than anything else. We'll find ways to pin it on stress, finances, resources, time, or whatever. But the truth is, it's the virus inside your head, inside my head. And if we're not aware of it, it'll live there and it'll spread. But if we are aware of it, we can deal with it and uproot it. And like anything else, it's a trend, right? And what it does is it keeps us in the same thought patterns over and over again, which lead us to the same uninspired choices, and those same choices lead us to the same unattractive behaviors, which then lead us to the experiences that make us wish that we should have never signed up for this. And round we go. And I have to continually remind myself that my entrepreneurial spirit does not exist to survive, but to arrive. The entrepreneur spirit does not exist to survive, but to create a way, to see problems as projects, to continuously refocus energy away from the biggest problems and towards the greatest opportunities. And the entrepreneurial spirit is a fighter spirit that at times does have to catch its breath. We need to rest, but all the while keeps the vision at the forefront. And in those moments, how we break out is by forging habits, small wins that give us the space and capacity to go back to the vision, to keep the vision in front of us, to reframe our belief in our own potential. And the reason is because 95% of our thoughts are patterns deep within our subconscious mind. And our minds are powerful, so powerful that all we need is 5% of a shift to affect radical change. And it's because our brains function like software, and our subconscious mind is where all this programming and code is running. And that code, our thought patterns, automatically trigger feelings and behaviors without our control. Well, what does that mean? That means that we are run by mental habits, habitual ways of thinking. And today, you might be hearing this and saying, dang, the mind virus has taken over the controls. And what is running me and the results I'm getting are, essentially anchored in our past programming. But here's the good news. We have the power to create a new basis. And that basis will determine our results. And, again, our results are congruent with our self-image, our self-belief. And, to my dental lab owners and friends out there that are listening, this also applies to your product. If you want a laboratory that is profitable, but bow to your fear of raising your price, it's because you believe that you will lose your customer. And that's because you believe that your only value is price, which at this moment is not congruent with your ambition of being a profitable business. You or I will never grow past our self-belief. It will always be our limit and our glass ceiling. And if you believe that you can stack that crown with value that is outside of the crown itself, that will garner, $200 per crown. Well, then your belief will go and work for you. And it will open up your future by substantiating your claim by way of action. And what will that do? That'll bring up your business to that profitable level. And so, for you to grow out of where you are, you have to reprogram your self-image, your self-belief, or you will always default to where you currently are. In landing this, I want to leave you with this big idea that vision is the result of clarity, and clarity is influenced by structure. And that's why habits are so important. Listen to any successful entrepreneur and they will tell you about their structure, their habits. They will tell you about their routines. Remember, 5% of a reprogramming of your thought process, your habitual behavior, will dislodge the mind virus. Habits exist for programming. And all you have to do is start with 1% right now. Make your bed, clean your room, organize your office, keep your dental lab clean, your workspaces, organization. It's the little things that have the power to jolt the mind virus out of your mind. What will happen is your habits, by way of small wins, will begin to reboot the programming of your subconscious mind. and will seek to prove out and act in consistence with your desired identity growth. Listen, confidence is forged through self-authenticity. In other words, by keeping the small promises you make to yourself. That's why habits are so powerful. For me, it's as simple as running in the morning. This little win, this habit has the power to shock my system, and it always does, never fails. And I know when I'm stuck because I'm not running. It changes the foundation of my day. It rewrites my programming. I don't even listen to music when I run because I use that friction to talk to myself, to remind myself of the things, not that I want to accomplish, but that I'm going to accomplish. That when we are mentally fatigued, we need to shock the system and change our thoughts and rewrite that narrative. It's about, again, creating those daily habits that form you, and as a result, drive those behaviors that will expand the belief about yourself. Create structure, gain clarity. Gain clarity, remove the mind virus, and you'll realize bigger ideas, bigger thoughts, more confidence, thinking and feeling, and backing it up with the most forceful energy in the universe, emotion. It'll create a crystal-like feeling of certainty, because self-belief is nothing more than a feeling of certainty. And as entrepreneurs, we didn't just risk it all to start a business. We didn't do it because we had a hunch of what we could possibly be capable of. No, we did it because we were sure of what we will accomplish. That's all I got for you today. Take care and keep going.